feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey guys, great show today with the Shrimp Tank Charleston podcast. I'm your host, Eric Elkins of Double E Insurance and Financial Solutions, and we just had a absolute great interview with this interesting gentleman right to my right, Mr. Joe Good. Not only is Joe an attorney, and actually he's kind of the expert guy, God forbid you have a DUI, but he's also a phenomenal criminal attorney, but he's a true entrepreneur. This guy, Joe, and you can hear this all on the episode that we just did. He started his own Bloody Mary mix company with a friend of his. They ended up distributing it throughout the country, and then they sold it, and that company was Fat and Juicy. Great name, by the way, Fat and Juicy Bloody Mary mix. He started that. He was in a successful band that basically almost made it to the big leagues, but unfortunately it's just so hard, but you went so far. Five-Way Friday, and if you listen to this show, you'll hear one of the songs from Five-Way Friday, which you guys were you're still amazing. They still get together. But I got to tell you, the show was so good. You know, Joe was worried that his show wasn't that interesting because he's just an attorney, but he's not just an attorney. The guy is an entrepreneur. He does things, and one thing I learned about you, Joe, is when you have an idea or something, you don't just keep it in your head. You actually do it.
Right.
If you're passionate about it, you do it. And it's a great lesson. You know, you won't get anywhere unless you try.
Right.
And you did. And I thought was cool, and I didn't expect it to be as cool until you went over it, is when you talked about almost like the forensics of DUI and representing a case.
Yeah. Well, I think the gist of what I told you there and in a quick nutshell was just that with regard to breathalyzer machines, they're just machines. If you get on the scale in the morning, I know if I get on the scale, I get off and I get right back on.
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
like,
true.
wait, and then it's usually the same, and I'm oh man, got to lose 25 pounds. But same thing with breathalyzer machines or any digital machine that gives a readout. You don't trust it, and usually you do it 2 or 3 times. And in South Carolina, the law is just to take one reading on a breathalyzer. So you got a guy like me that says, I don't trust it. Let's see what else we got.
Well, listen, you don't need to be an expert in breathalyzer tests. If, God forbid, you're in a bind, you should call this guy, Joe Good. And if you need to get a hold of Joe, not only to ask him questions about how did you start a Bloody Mary mix company and how are you a successful drummer of a band, you can go to his website. One of his websites is sc-dui.com. Again, that's sc-dui.com. Or you can go to joegoodlaw.com. And if you want to call Joe, you can reach him at 843-412-1401. And again, I'm Eric Elkins. We just did a great interview. If you want to hear that full interview along with other episodes of the Shrimp Tank Charleston, go to iTunes, iHeartRadio. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Our channel is the Charleston Shrimp Tank. Or you can go to our website, www.shrimptankpodcast.com/Charleston. And you can hear this interview, which you'll be surprised. This is mostly about what was it like to be a part of and affiliated with Hootie and the Blowfish and the connections and all kinds of stuff, and how he built a company of Bloody Marys, and then how he was in a successful band, blah, 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 blah. He just goes on. The guy's way more interesting than I've ever been. So, again, I want to thank you for being on the show. Check it out. Tune in, and we'll see you soon.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp